What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
So I'm an Apple iPhone 13 user and I've switched over to the Nothing Phone 1. And if you are an Apple user and you thought about jumping over to Android, let me know what's holding you back. So in this video, I'm going to keep it straight to the point and easy to follow in 5 chapters. So what is better about the Nothing Phone 1? What's worse about the Nothing Phone 1? Why did I actually decide to try Nothing? And what does it do that the iPhone doesn't? And was it worth buying the Nothing Phone 1 in the end? So chapter 1. What's better about the Nothing Phone 1? So the obvious answer is going to be the customizable software experience. So the Nothing Phone 1 comes preloaded with the Nothing launcher, which isn't actually exclusive to the Nothing Phone 1 because you can pretty much download it to any Android smartphone. And this is the point I'm trying to make. The beauty of Android is how easy it is to change things up. You have the option to make your user interface look exactly like an iPhone or a Samsung One UI device or something entirely different if you want. And that's the point. You have the choice. And the reality is Apple will probably never let you do this. Well, at least not on Tim Cook's Apple Watch anyway. What's better on the Nothing Phone 1? I can sum it up in 2 words. Creative freedom. Okay, what's worse about the Nothing Phone 1? Now listen, my intent is not to drag Nothing's name through the mud. So I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid real quick. Here's what's not better about the Nothing Phone 1 in comparison to the iPhone. The screen, the cameras, the speakers, the battery, the processor, the unlock method. But just look at those lights though. So of course, coming over from an iPhone to an Android phone, there are going to be some features that you're not going to have, and some of which I absolutely adore. For example, on the iPhone, I can copy a bit of text and immediately paste it onto the iMac or MacBook with great ease. And for me as a content creator, being able to transfer files directly from the phone to the computer instantly is invaluable, and quite often it's faster than using a wire, especially when you factor in the time spent looking for the wire, then plugging it in, then opening up the user interface. AirDrop just does it like that. And yes, there are workarounds, especially if you're a Windows user, but I think it's fair to say, and you'll notice especially if you're in the Apple ecosystem already, Apple don't do workarounds. So why did I decide to try Nothing? So as a tech enthusiast and content creator, when I heard Carl Pei, the co-founder of OnePlus, was starting a new company called Nothing, of course, I had to pay attention. Carl Pei has once again delivered what could be considered to be a marketing masterclass with the Nothing Phone 1 launch. And here's a good example of what I mean. So back when OnePlus launched, do you remember, in order to buy a OnePlus phone, to buy it, you had to defeat Tung Po in a kickboxing match.
I want Tung Po! Give me Tung Po!
Okay, I just made that up. You did need an invitation though. So with the scarcity and exclusivity of the product, it drove demand, but this means nothing without good timing. And it's basically a trap. And the brilliance of it is once you fall into it, you're quite likely to then buy the Nothing Ear 1, the Nothing Watch 1, or anything that Nothing releases in the future, because a lot of people like completing the collection, no matter the cost in some cases. For example, Pokemon. What was the tagline for that again? So what does the Nothing Phone 1 bring to the table that the iPhone doesn't? So this segues nicely on from the previous section, because the standout feature on the Nothing Phone 1 wasn't built for the user in mind, it was built for the observers, the watchers. So here's what I mean. When I walk around the supermarket with my iPhone 13 in my hand, AirPods in, and I'm looking at my shopping list and I'm doing my shopping, nobody bats an eyelid unless I bump into them with the shopping trolley. Now check this out. This is the difference, and a true story that literally just happened the other day. I was walking around the supermarket with the Nothing Phone 1, my Nothing Ear 1 earbuds in, holding my phone in my hand, looking at the shopping list, and my phone is constantly blowing up with notifications, which of course meant the glyph system was going crazy on the back of the phone. And I kid you not, the amount of heads that spun around when they saw the phone was surprising. And I do believe that most people, when they see this for the first time, think it's some kind of modded iPhone. And honestly, the reaction I was getting from complete strangers is unlike any phone I've ever used. And this feature adds to Carl Pei's marketing genius, because do you know how many people will probably go home and start typing in things like see-through iPhone, iPhone with lights on the back, these kind of search terms, and guess what they're going to discover? Nothing. So the answer to the question, what does it do that the iPhone doesn't? Well, it brings a new feature with 2 purposes, one for the user and one for marketing, and it brings a double-edged meaning to the word flashiness. So was buying Nothing worth it? Okay, so consider this concept. The Nothing Phone 1 is a 50-50 phone. And just hear me out. This is the first generation of the Nothing phone. and they clearly haven't gone 100% with the specs. They could have gone Quad HD LTPO just like a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, but they didn't. They could have thrown in the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus if they wanted to, which would one up a lot of the flagships right now, but they didn't. They could have gone with a Sony 1-inch IMX image sensor behind the primary camera, but they didn't. And they could have put an ultrasonic 3D Max fingerprint sensor under the screen like the Vivo X80, but they didn't. And what they have done is just put one foot in front of the other, and Nothing's first step was a smart one. They've delivered 50% of the flagship specs, but added enough flashiness that people will see it in the same light as the flagships, but at 50% of the price. So the answer to the question, was Nothing worth it? Well, I've got to say, at the price point that this comes in at, it's definitely something. So watch this space. So I'd love to hear about your experiences switching over from Android to iOS or iOS to Android. Let me know about those in the comments below. What's holding you back from making the switch, or what happened when you did make the switch? Let me know. And if you want to check out my unboxing video, it's right here on the screen. See you in the next one. Don't be late.